Hi, everyone. Fran Strickland here with Tapped In with Verolead Biz Solutions. I have the privilege of being with JoJo Lariccia. JoJo is a video strategist, and she's coming today to expand our understanding of the wonderful value of having someone on your side when you start making videos to talk about what you do and how you serve your clients. Now, Verolead Biz Solutions is a business all associated with bringing to our audience insights, concepts, and ideas that will help them continue to grow in their businesses professionally and personally. Hello, JoJo. How are you today? I'm so glad to see you.
Fran, I am thrilled to be here on your podcast. I have been looking forward to this for several months because there's a waiting period to see you.
Well, I'm excited that you are here with us finally because I just think you are going to bring a treat to this audience. Your energy, your knowledge, and what is even so wonderful about it is your generosity. You're just a generous spirit. So before we talk about anything else and I do any more accolades, because we want to hear exactly who is it you endeavor to help?
Well, Fran, that's a loaded question. I love helping anybody that reaches out to me that says, "Can you help me?" Like yesterday, I was on a Zoom call and I met this lovely woman who has worked with HBO and Sony Pictures Network for a number of years, very accomplished person. But she was recommended to me because of the people that I know. And I started saying, well, who can I introduce her to? And then I started thinking, I know more people than I think I know. And when we network, as you and I met each other in a networking group, the beauty of networking is to connect with people. When you connect with people, you find out about them. Like yourself, you have a very diverse background, very exciting background. And when we go back and we ask questions, we all learn about each other because we're all, what do they say? We're 6 degrees of separation.
Mhm.
We're all connected. As long as we're on planet Earth, we're all in the same sandbox.
Mhm.
So my goal is let's get along, let's introduce each other to each other, and let's have some fun. Work hard, have fun.
Absolutely. And folks, JoJo and I, when we met, she is definitely fun, and she is truly a super connector. And when she says that the people she helps or the people who come and ask for help, that's exactly who she is. So I can give a testimony about that. So
Thank
now,
you.
Jojo, you have quite a history in this work. I mean, your story is fascinating. Why don't you share for the audience a little bit about how you managed to show up where you are today?
Yeah, I want to give you the humble beginnings. My brother Joe wanted to become a priest. So I'm in single digits. And my dad gave my brother Sal a Minolta camera. And he asked my brother Sal to document my brother Joe's journey in becoming a priest. And so, because I was the youngest of four siblings, I had two older brothers and an older sister, and then there was myself. Our older siblings usually are our role models. And I wanted to do everything that my brother Sal did. Well, actually, I wanted to become a nun. And I told my mother, and she just laughed. She just said, that's not going to happen. And she probably did me a favor. Look at you're laughing because I'm really glad I didn't become a nun. That wouldn't have worked out. But anyway, my brother Sal started taking these incredible photographs. And as a youngster, again, I'm 11 years old, and there was a local teen center, and I kept asking the guy who was running the teen center, I said, I need to learn photography. The competition in my family is fierce. And my brother Sal's 4 years older than me, and he was taking incredible photographs, but I wanted to learn photography. And so the gentleman said to me, well, there's a photography class at MIT. My roommate, who's also a student, but a teacher teaching photography because he was brilliant at it, he said, it's unlikely that you'll be able to attend the class, but that's the only place that I know where there's a photography class. So I am literally 2 miles from MIT, and I go to MIT with my friend Petey. Her real name's Patty Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to this, we knock on the door. We had the address. Gentleman opens the door. His name was Jeremy. I said, Jeremy, we heard there was a photography class and we want to take it. And Jeremy looks at us and he says, you can't take this class. You're kids. You didn't pay for tuition. You're not MIT students. You cannot take this class. And I looked at him and I said, we're not taking no for an answer. And he caved. He didn't know what to do with that. So he turned around, he looked at there was about 8 other students in this class. It was a dark room. Of course, the lights were on. And this was 1965. Okay, so I was born in 1954. So we asked the students, do you mind if these kids join us? They didn't care. They said, sure. They figured that we'd be there and then we would be gone in seconds. No, that it didn't work out like that. We ended up taking the whole class, the whole course. We both got an A. We didn't get a credit because we're not students. And I convinced my parents that I should build a dark room in the basement. And so it started with the photography. And eventually I got a cassette recorder. But this recorder had like the little, I don't know if you remember the little reel-to-reels with the tape.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were having an argument over toilet paper. It was so funny. I hid around the corner and I recorded them. And when they finished, I went back into the kitchen and I put the recorder on play. They loved it. They were laughing. They thought it was hilarious. And I went, wow, people love when you take their picture. They love the sound of their voice. So the next transition was video. That's how it all began.
Wow. So there are some nuggets. I mean, because this conversation and all of our conversations here on Tapped In is about expanding, ideas, concepts, insights to help people expand where they are.
Sure.
So I'm hearing, first of all, a decision. I want to learn photography, refusing to be refused the opportunity,
That's right.
finishing what you started, and actually being open, discovering the things that really connected to people emotionally.
Yeah, you're raising the hairs on the back of my neck. Everybody in this world wants to feel like that they belong. And I found a niche where I can make people feel like, wow, I'm part of something that's greater. But I'm going to back up a little bit.
Mhm.
I learned at a very young age that if you ask the right question, you're going to get 2 outcomes. If people are either going to say yes or they're going to say no. Well, they could say maybe, but maybe still means no, or it could mean yes. So it's either yes or no. And I learned the art of asking the right questions at a very early age, where I would have people saying yes to me more often than saying no. And I discovered this at a very young age, and I was exhilarated. It was almost like ask the right question. People can't refuse you.
Mm.
Okay. So very exciting. And I'm
Mm.
still doing this. It's
Okay.
very easy to have people say yes. If people say no to me and I ask a question, I sometimes say to them, no today means yes for tomorrow.
Mm.
So a no isn't like to me is not like a no. It could be a yes at some point. But you have to give everyone the time and the space that they need. If they say no, let it breathe. Let it rest. You can revisit, but just give it time and space.
Mm. Mm. So there's this element of a great sales woman, world class. I mean, this is a master class in so many aspects of getting ourselves out there, making connection, and really how to view the various situations that we might encounter as we reach out. But we also know that, people don't like to be sold to.
That's right.
So,
That's
is
right.
there something that you keep in mind that helps you stay out of the space of selling to people?
Is there something that keeps me out of the space? Well, one of the things that I've learned, and I learned this in the Dale Carnegie class that I took at
Mhm.
Rockefeller Center in New York. I lived in New York for a short span of time. That's another whole part of my life. But one of the things that I've learned in with the Dale Carnegie class is always find something common with the person to talk to them about. Like if you walk into someone's office and you see a photograph on their desk, and it could be of their family and they may have a pet, you might start talking about animals. You always find something to lift the human spirit of the other person.
Mm.
You have to take the focus away from you and focus on them, because the most popular word in the human language is the other person's name. The other person always likes to talk about themselves. So if you give them the space to talk about themselves, you'll find that the conversation's going to go very well. Now, I don't know if you know this little fact, but Dale Carnegie went to a party. Excuse my accent, I'm from New England. And the next day, he was written up in the New York Times as being one of the most, I don't know, affluential people. He was like really noted that you wanted to have him at a party. And one of the things that he did was he listened to other people talking about themselves. Oh, he was listed as a great conversationalist, but he didn't do that much talking. He
Mm.
just asked the right questions.
Mm.
And he found that common denominator so people can come out of themselves, speak about themselves, because people love talking about themselves.
Wow. Wow. And what I really loved about that is you said to find something that uplifts the human spirit. Now, I've heard people say, yeah, it's not about you, talk about them, but that extra something that uplifts them is really that additional emotional connect that they need.
When I met you, you told me quite a bit about your history, and you have a fantastic story about all the different I won't call them stepping stones, but all your credibility and all the things that you've done. You're a force to be reckoned with. And I just found you fascinating. I had no idea, but how I found out about you was asking you the right questions. And I know this isn't about you right now, and I would love for you to talk about you if you wanted to just share some of the things, the highlights of your life, because it's pretty incredible.
Mm. Well, I will. I will. I will treat the audience to that. But right now, we really want to focus on you because, I mean, you've given us quite a foundation in how to really show up, and let's move beyond where a lot of us get stuck, which is talking about ourselves. I mean, we leave with our pitches about what we do and those kinds of
Right,
things.
right, right, right.
But I want to take a little bit of a detour. It's not a detour. Actually, I want to take a turn at the end
Mm-hmm,
of the street that we're coming to,
mm-hmm.
because I would like for you to talk about the work, when you're working with someone in this space, because I know you're a super connector. You connected me to fantastic people, and I
Thank
see
you.
you do it for others.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a joy. That face that you have, that smile, that is there. You love doing that.
I do.
And then people are coming to you and saying, oh, I've got to kind of, you know, put my brand out there or show up. Tell me about that experience of working with someone who may come a little bit unsure, a little bit misinformed. How do you help them get in a better direction?
Oh,
Uh,
that's super easy. Um, every person wants to feel like they're part of something great. A lot of people are there. They may come onto the Zoom call feeling defeated.
mhm,
My mother brought me up and she said, always find something good or positive to say to a person, whether you're in the supermarket, I'm at the toll booth. My
mhm,
nieces and nephews say to me, you always have something positive to say to a person. That came from my mother. And it really will talk about lifting the human spirit. Your smile, your comment can change the whole trajectory course of a person's life. And today, a lot of people are not kind. They're critical. They
mhm,
condemn. They gossip. They criticize. To me, I call it WE, wasted energy.
mhm,
It is far more important to lift the human spirit. Now, listen, I don't just hand out compliments and we have to see things as they are. But if you can extend that olive branch and lift someone and find something to say to them to help them to snap out of it.
mhm,
Remember that movie Moonstruck with
mhm,
Cher and Nick, I forget his name, and she slaps him on the face. He was a baker, and she said, snap out of it. Well, that's what I do when I give someone a compliment. I'm snapping them out of their where they're stuck, and
mhm,
it just changes the conversation.
mm,
I
mm,
look for the good in humanity. I'm not blinded by things that are dark, but if I can find a compliment, I will find it. If I don't see anything good to talk about, I just zip it. I don't
mm,
say anything because
mm,
there are situations where you really can't say anything. I
mm,
mean, it happens in a blue moon, but it can happen.
mm,
So I look to find something where I can lift them up.
mm. And that, I call it the red thread. The red thread of everything that I've heard is truly an external perspective. And of course, one of the things that I see is that you have had opportunity to learn how to validate yourself and the value that you can bring. but there's this external perspective in serving and supporting others, and that comes through your work. At the end of the day, what is different about working with you as a video strategist versus what often happens to people who are looking for this kind of a service?
I make the whole experience fun. I am detailed oriented. I work quickly but efficiently. If you're quick and sloppy, no good. If you're quick and efficient, that's excellent. But I go above and beyond with what I do. It is super important to do that because a lot of people today in business, they take shortcuts. And we cannot take shortcuts. If we want to excel with what we do, we have to do what we call add value. I add value to every experience that I work with people. If you look at my reviews, that's what people are saying that you went above and beyond. I didn't expect this. I want to always go above and beyond. I want to add a little extra that they didn't expect. It's almost like it's a prize. It's a treat. Because every human deserves that. Everybody needs to feel special. And every person that I work with, I want them to feel very, very special. I'm a people pleaser, but sometimes that can also get me into trouble. So I am learning to keep the balance as well.
Okay, good.
Because there are people that will sometimes they perceive my kindness as a weakness. But when I have to get a little tough and stern, I will. But I don't want to be mean about it. But sometimes, you just have to say no. And when I say no to people, they go, "You're saying no?" Yeah. It's like no means, no. So I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes. Now, as always, I'm always surprised how quickly things move when I'm having these conversations. But as I reflect now on everything that you've said, and people come to you, you're helping them, you are making an experience fun for them, uplifting their spirits, making a difference. And you've had great success in what you do. What is one thing or two things that you will want to drop on the audience that you say, if you remember nothing else about this conversation, I want them to remember this? What are those two things?
The two things is when you show up in someone's life, be positive, be happy, be the very best that you can be. Don't use the 3 C's. Don't criticize, don't condemn. There's another one, criticize, condemn. I can't think of the third one, but you just have to be positive. And if a person chooses to work with you, add value. Make sure that you stand out, because what I do, there's lots of people that do what I do, but I want people to have an experience with me that they haven't had with someone else. I want to, as I said before, I want to raise the human spirit. And I do that. It's important that I do that. I want them to say, yeah, I had a great experience working with JoJo, and I'm making money because she delivered a product that's going to last for years. And this is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Always add value to what you do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Cool. So, how can people tap into all this joy and positivity and everything that you bring? How can they reach you?
Well, if you want to reach me, you could text me. That's the best way to get in touch with me. 617-710-2848. 617-710-2848. Or
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you my personal cell number. Because you know what? I love when people text me. I'll text back, like in the
Mm-hmm.
nanosecond.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach me by email, jojo@laricciamedia.com.
Mm-hmm.
So will you have that below my?
Yes, absolutely. This information will be in the comments section
Yep,
when your podcast goes live.
sure. And
Definitely.
in my website's being rebuilt. So that's laricciamedia.com.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
it's exciting. Listen, I'm learning. I learn from every person that I meet
Mm-hmm.
because every person's like a brand new book. You open it up and it's like, whoa, this is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful world.
And I just have to comment on that whole idea about curiosity and really seeing things anew.
Yeah,
Because no matter how similar a situation might be, a person might be, it's never the same. It is to be curious enough to ask, to really live with this belief there is much more that is unseen that there's to learn, right? And that's what I
absolutely.
hear. And that kind of curiosity and intent to help people have a more fulfilling, uplifting experience is, I know, is the source of that vibrancy that every time I've seen you is evident. You are a great example, and I hope that the people who have been in the audience and heard you today are picking up on that and will emulate you and make that a part of their everyday experience.
You're beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap our conversation up?
Yeah, I wanna make a comment. A lot of people when they show up on these networking calls, you can't see their face. They're in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And people have to shine a light. Like I could see your eyes. I could see your face, but some people, they're like totally in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's going to do business with you or engage with you if they can't see your eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. That is the place where we connect, is through the eyes.
Mm.
And a lot of people, you just can't see them. And I tell people, get a light. And when they're camera, when they're behind a window or in front of a window, the camera sees the window and makes them look dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people, make sure that the light is on you. You often hear when an actor's on stage, they tell the actor, find the light, look at the light. Well, it's the same thing with networking. People have to be in the light for people to engage with them, to start the conversation, to
Mm-hmm.
create the curiosity, and then the business just follows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a great takeaway. And that's a great way to manage this whole thing. I mean, so many people are saying they want to, give me more leads. I want to close more sales. But what you've just said is actually be human. And then the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
follows. The other follows. Be
Right.
seen, be open, and be interested in the person in front of you.
You just hit the nail on the head. Be interested. Be curious. Because when you're curious about the other person, they automatically get excited because you're interested.
Mhm.
The reason why people love their pets, the person comes home from work and the pet is at the door, eager to greet them, all excited. When we as humans get excited that we're meeting another person, that excites them. It's almost like the relationship that people have with their pets. Now, I'm not comparing people to animals. Not that that's a bad thing, because animals are beautiful, but people want to feel like the other person is like all in. They're there, they're excited to meet them. When you go to a party and the host opens the door and they say to you, Fran, welcome. So happy to have you here. You're excited. But if they opened the door and said, hi, nice to see you, you would say, what? You want someone to be excited
Yeah.
that you're entering their space. It's the same thing when you engage with people, whether you meet them in person, you're at a party, they're at your home, you're in a networking group. People want to feel like you are excited to be in their presence. And when that happens, the whole energy field, it shifts, it changes. The vibration goes up, the conversations are vibrant and lively, things manifest and happen.
Mm.
There's so many layers to this, by the way.
It is. It is. And unfortunately, we don't have the time to get into those layers, but I would be surprised if JoJo comes back and is a guest, because she has a wealth of experience and expertise, and she will bring to you insights that you just don't think about every day, but can be so differential to everything that you do. JoJo, thank you so much for your time. You're just so fantastic. I've been waiting for this. You have not disappointed. And I just wish you such a fantastic day. And to my audience, same to you. Thank you for being with us. Hope you walk away with something that's making a difference for you. And I'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you, Fran. Thank you, audience. Talk to you soon.